Chapter 7 Honesty. The Empty Pot. The Emperor of China had a great empire. He was getting old, but did not have a son to succeed him. He decided to choose a successor. Being a plant lover, he made a proclamation that the palace would distribute royal seeds on a particular day. Any boy who wanted to become the king of China had to come to the palace to receive one royal seed. Whichever boy would grow the best plant from it within 6 months would be declared the next emperor of China. On the day of the distribution of the seeds, a huge crowd of excited young boys arrived at the palace along with their hopeful parents and collected their share of the royal seed. In the busy village of Wukan, there lived a young boy, Yang, known for having the greenest of fingers. Like all the other boys, Yang too walked home with the royal seed held carefully in his palm. On reaching home, Yang cleared up a medium-sized pot, arranged some stones at the bottom and filled it up with rich black loamy soil. He then made a depression in the middle of the pot, gently pressed the royal seed in and covered it with some loose soil and moistened it. Like him, all the other boys planted their seeds in their respective pots. Li was the first boy in Wukan to announce that his seed had sprouted. Next to announce was Yuan, who said that he could see 2 tiny green leaves. And so it went on with more and more boys declaring how their young plants had grown. Meanwhile, Yang was surprised and confused. His pot showed no sign of life. Yang even tried repotting the seed, but in vain. Yang was in despair. From being the most successful plant grower, he was gradually becoming the laughingstock of Wukan. 6 months passed, and it was time for the boys to carry their pots to the palace for the crucial judgment. Yang's father told him, "Yang, don't be afraid of carrying your pot to the palace, even if it is an empty one. You have done your best." His mother added, "You've done all you could, Yang. Show your pot to the emperor as it is." Yang carried his empty pot to the palace, with his head hung in shame. All the boys lined up eagerly with their glittering pots with well-grown green plants in them. The emperor walked down the rows of boys, looking at each plant with a strange sulk on his face. The boys were confused. What had gone wrong? They wondered. When the emperor reached Yang, his brow knotted up and he glared at him. "Why have you brought an empty pot to me?" he said. Yang said softly, "I am very sorry, Your Majesty. This is all I could do in spite of my best efforts. I made sure that the seed got enough sunlight and water, yet it showed no signs of growing." Yang bent down his head with shame and stood uneasily. The emperor turned to look at everyone and his sulk gave way to a benevolent smile. And then he spoke slowly. "I really don't understand where all these boys got the seeds from. Those that we gave out were all cooked and dried. How could anything grow out of them?" So saying, he turned to look at Yang with a wide smile adorning his regal face. Yang finally reaped the reward for his honesty and was declared the heir to the throne of China.